Ladies and gentlemen, meet the new manager of the New York Yankees, Mr. Dick Howser. A, congratulations. B, is it or is it not true that 3 summers ago you were offered in Gabe Paul's apartment the job as the Yankee manager to succeed Billy Martin in the wake of the Jackson-Martin incident at Fenway Park?
Howard, that's not true. I went to discuss some things with Gabe. As you know quite well, you live in the same apartment complex, and we discussed personnel and we discussed Billy, but I tried to talk Gabe into keeping Billy. We didn't talk about me being hired. We tried to talk about keeping Billy, and I said if we keep Billy, we get healthy, we can win the pennant, and we did that year.
Your loyalty to Martin has always remained firm, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. He's a good friend of mine. He's a great manager.
What are your problems as you foresee them with the Yankees?
1 or 2 players that we need in certain areas, probably center field, maybe behind the plate.
We've only just begun with this fine gentleman, and we'll get back to him right after this play. Yep.
Atlanta, 124. They have the football, 1st and 10. The ball at the 34-yard line. They're down by 7 points. Bartkowski. Strong arms it, going for Jenkins, and is picked off. Picked off by Dave Brown, who was back there in double coverage by Seattle.
He had help back there from Archery Beeman, who they just moved to free safety a couple of weeks ago, and Archery Beeman put it up. That's Alfred Jenkins, and he can run. He's one of the faster men in football, but you'll see Archery Beeman come into the play here from the right of your screen. He will get up and tip the ball up, and Dave Brown will make the interception. There's Beeman going up off his shoulder pads. Dave Brown makes a nice reaction, intercepts the ball. Now, will Seattle sit on it, or will they go after it? The way they've been playing, I think they might go after it.
The ball at the 12-yard line. There's a look at Dave Brown. Started every game that Seattle has ever played.
He's a maligned ball player. He was the #1 draft choice out of Michigan by the Pittsburgh Steelers. John McKay had him with the All-Stars. Didn't think he could make it. Well, he's made it with Seattle.
1:15, and Seattle has 2 timeouts. Handoff is Dan Dornick. Gain of 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Let's go quickly back to Howard.
Okay, we're back with Dick Howser. Now, Dick, you said you need 1 or 2 players. Who and where?
Well, possibly in center field, possibly behind the plate. I don't know those people right now, but there's some people available, and we've discussed personnel already, and I think George Steinbrenner is committed to bringing in some players in New York and help the ball club.
Controversy has always been the yardstick of the Yankees in the Steinbrenner regime, particularly involving Reggie Jackson. You stood firm behind Billy in the Reggie Jackson interludes. How do you feel about Jackson now?
Well, I've thrown a lot of batting practice to Reggie. I hope he appreciates that. We get along very well, really, and he had a fine offensive year last year, and I hope he continues into 80 and have another good season, because he had a good deal.
Talk to you later. Thank you very much, Dick. Dick Howser, the new manager of the Yankees, back to Giff and the play-by-play.
And as Dornick picks up a couple of yards, 3rd down and 7, Dick Howser, nice young man. He'll age considerably.
I don't think Dick. So. I've known Dick since 1961 when at Kansas City he made the all-rookie team. This is a peppery guy and a fighter, and he's not going to age.
Atlanta calls timeout on this occasion.
Don't forget about our halftime gift. Willie Mays, Bowie Kuhn. Bowie with some interesting comments about the Billy Martin situation.
And 2 dancing bears to seal with the ball. Don't want to miss halftime at the Big Top. 3rd down and 7. Atlanta stopped the clock. They'd like to get the football back. They'd like a chance to rush the punter again for Seattle, Herman Weaver.
Giff, we've seen Seattle make many gambles tonight, but as you and I talked about, they were good calculated risks. This is good to run the clock out here. Now I'm anticipating them to run this ball again and then punt to Atlanta, and I think that's what they should be doing at this particular point of the game with a 21-14 lead.
3rd and 7, the ball at the 16-yard line. Dorn, hands off, Sherman Smith. Oh, Smith has got the 1st down. Out to the 24-yard line. The seconds ticking away now. Neither team inclined, I don't believe, to stop the clock at this point. Seattle deep in their own territory. Atlanta realizing Seattle has the 1st down. They'll let the 1st half expire. Interesting, exciting 1st half. We hope you've enjoyed it. Interesting halftime coming up. So stay with us. We'll be returning in just a moment.
Well, they finally built the Sony big enough for me.
Sony has risen to the challenge of the Mahoney family.
Grandma, what a big Sony you have!
Sony introduces the Big Sony, the 26-inch Trinitron console, the biggest television screen in America. But the big news isn't that it's so big. The big news is that it's a Sony.
Kind of reminds me of my Sony.
Sony, the one and only.
I like competing against men. But only if they don't patronize me. Then if I win, it's really exciting. You know what else I find exciting? Men who wear English leather cologne. I like the way it smells on men, and I like the kind of men who wear it. I find them to be challenging. When it comes to the battle of the sexes, I don't like pushovers. I guess that's why all my men wear English leather. Or they wear nothing at all.
Next August, I'll be an air traffic controller. Guaranteed.
10 months from now, I'll be training in electronics. Guaranteed.
Even if you're still in school, you can join the Army now and take up to 12 months to report for duty. With your choice of training guaranteed in writing.
Next September, I'll be in Europe. Guaranteed.
This is the Army, and we're giving guarantees. Call this toll-free number now.
Josie on Happy Days, an actor, puts the squeeze on Marion.
Well, la-di-da.
And guess who comes knocking at the door?
It ain't opportunity.
Then on Angie, a burglar breaks in. But it's more than money he's after.
Tomorrow. For Dynamite Disco, turn on, tune in, and get down.
I'm John Witt, President, Board of Education. I've successfully opposed forced busing in your schools. Vote for John Witt, Board of Education.
There's treasure for the finding, if you know how. Cliff Kirk shows you the prizes of a professional treasure hunter when his special series continues Tuesday on the news at 5.
I'm Marty Levine. The carrier Kitty Hawk is being sent towards South Korea. More of the people stranded overnight on San Clemente Island and the grounding of a fishing boat are returning to shore. And Del Mar may decide on a lawsuit over North City West. These stories at 11.
We're back live. The score here at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium is Seattle 21, Atlanta 14 at halftime. Our halftime features are being brought to you by Metropolitan. Metropolitan really stands by you with insurance. I'll complete in just a moment as I tell you how the scoring went. First, Lynn Kane on a 35-yard run. Mazzetti the kick, 7-0 Atlanta. Rick Byers, 30 yards on what was officially called a fumble return. Really, it looked like a block kick against Thunderfoot Weaver, 14-0 Atlanta. Then Jim Zorn, 34-yard run. Herrera's kick, 14-7. Sherman Smith, 4-yard pass from Zorn. Herrera kick, tie. And then Dan Dornink, 8-yard run, 21-14. So, Metropolitan really stands by you with insurance for your life, health, auto, home, and retirement. Folks, there were two overriding stories in sports this weekend, thus we're forsaking the halftime highlights to cover them. First, the disassociation from baseball of one of its greatest, the Hall of Famer Willie Mays. Second, the dismissal of Billy Martin as Yankee manager and the employment of Dick Howser as his successor. Willie Mays had a 10-year contract with the Mets, 2 years to go on it, part-time coach, scout, and PR man. And then he agreed to a 10-year contract with Bally's Park Place Hotel, a hotel to be opened by the end of November or shortly thereafter in Atlantic City, with a casino gambling venture included within that hotel. Mays would work for 10 years for them at $100,000 a year, $500 a month expenses, a 2-bedroom apartment, security apparently for a lifetime. Bowie Kuhn said that Mays could not have such a position and stay associated with baseball. It would be against baseball's best interests. At a press conference held today after he had met with the commissioner for 1 hour, Willie Mays spoke of that meeting with the commissioner and his adopted position.
What can I say now? Looks like I'm being farmed out to a worthwhile group. I had a meeting with the commission today. I think he said in the best interest of baseball that I should disengage myself with the Mets. As far as I'm concerned, I'm going with a wonderful group. I know that these people are very much behind me. I know they're going to be very good to my family. I hate to leave baseball, but I'm not, the way I understand it through the commissioner, I'm not leaving baseball totally. I will be playing in, I guess, in the old-timers games, whatever baseball have to offer as far as I'm concerned. But I am not going to challenge baseball by saying that baseball is wrong. I think it's very important that I take care of my family, and I think the people that are here with me are done just that. I think it's very important that my wife and I are happy, and all of the decision today was the commission, and I provide by that.
Earlier, I spoke to Bowie Kuhn. Bowie, you really can stir up a fuss. The Payson family owns the Mets. They've had interests in thoroughbred racing. John Galbraith owns the world champion Bucks. He also owns the Derby Dan Farm, thoroughbred racing. George Steinbrenner, principal owner of the Yankees. He also owns horses, stables them down at his farm in Ocala. Isn't it inconsistent, then, for you to allow those owners to retain their ownership interest in thoroughbred racing, which is legalized gambling, and yet to determine that Willie Mays is acting against the best interests of baseball and taking a PR job with a legalized gambling operation?
Howard, there are both owners and players who have been involved in thoroughbred racing. When I came into baseball in 1969 as commissioner, what I was faced with was a situation where the prior commissioners, including Judge Landis to a limited extent and the other commissioners to a greater extent, had accepted ownership and players being involved in horse racing. I decided when I came in was that we should not go any farther with this kind of affiliation. We ought to say there's got to be a line drawn somewhere. And in the first few months that I was commissioner, I found that a number of our owners in two clubs were involved in stock ownership, nothing sinister about it, in a corporation that had casinos. And I said, fellas, I don't think this is a good thing for baseball. I think you ought to give it up. And they proceeded voluntarily, all of them, to give it up. So I hadn't been commissioner more than 5 months, I guess, before I made it clear. I thought you got to draw the line someplace because our integrity is the key thing we've got, and I think we had to draw it.
But, Bowie, Howard Mays, serving 10 days a month as a PR man, in effect, for a publicly held corporation, after all, which is subject to government regulation, the New Jersey State Gaming Commission, the SEC, and so on, how would he be affecting deleteriously the integrity of baseball?
I think the question is one of the image of the game. I think the more you get involved in gambling interests, the more problems you're going to face, the more suspicion you're going to create for the game. It seems to me that we have got to be very tough about this. Nothing could be tougher than to have the case come up in 1979 involving one of the greatest stars we've ever had and one of the guys that I have the greatest affection for in our game. I think if you ignore these things, if you don't draw tough lines and say, look, we just can't go over this line, we can't go this far, then you're going to have trouble. I think the public perception of baseball is going to suffer, and it's my job to protect that integrity and to protect that perception, and I intend to do it.
Well, you've just spoken of your affection for Mays. Roy Campanella once said to play baseball, you've got to have a little boy in you. And if anybody has ever typified that in the history of the game, it's Willie Mays. Don't you tarnish him by this action?
Howard, I don't think so, and certainly I don't intend to. I'm making it very clear. I made it very clear to Willie that it was his choice. He could go with the casino operation if he wanted to, obviously. But if he did, he had to make an election between that and baseball. I'm also making it abundantly clear in talking to the media about this situation that Willie has in no way done anything wrong. I don't blame Willie for making the decision that he has made, the election that he has made. Willie is looking to his own long-term interests. These people are taking good care of Willie for a long period of time. He's made that decision, and I understand it. But I've got to stand where baseball ought to be, too.
Metropolitan really stands by you.
1, 2, 3.
Glad I'm insured by Metropolitan, because Metropolitan will really stand by me.
Metropolitan really stood by me, so now I have the dream house I always dreamed of.
2 daughters, double wedding. Metropolitan really stood by me.
For insurance for life, home, car, health, and retirement.
Metropolitan really stands by you.
Turning for a moment to the Billy Martin case. Is it true, sir, that you're still investigating that?
Yes, it is.
George Steinbrenner has fed information to me to the effect that he still feels deeply about Billy and indeed looks forward to creating some kind of business association for Billy. Would you do anything to block that?
No, I think George is very sincere in his concern about Billy Martin. Billy has got problems. There are financial problems. He's had some personal problems also in terms of his getting into fights and trouble when he's been drinking. George is sincerely dedicated, I believe, to trying to help Billy through this, to try to help him find financial opportunities outside of the game, where Billy might have a better climate to solve some of these difficulties.
Then what is it you're still investigating in the Martin case?
Well, I want to be sure that I have all of the facts. I think I'm pretty close to having them, but in addition to getting all the facts, I want to give the Yankees a chance, as I have, to see how they're going to handle this, to draw out a plan. George has not at this point come forward with any final plan about how he wants to handle it, but he has talked to me with some ideas along the lines you and I are just talking about now. I like the sound of that. How I will resolve my end of it remains to be seen, but what I want to do is put Billy in a situation where he will have a feeling that he had really better stay away from these kinds of problems in the future if he wants to have a future in the game.
Do you expect to bar Martin from baseball, yes or no?
I'm not going to answer that yes or no. I've got a variety of options open to me, Howard. I can suspend a man for varying periods of time. I can fine. I can put a man on probation. I can reprimand a man. All of these things are obviously things I have to consider, and I am considering.
Thank you very much for coming into our studio.
Nice to be with you, Howard.
Take care.
Metropolitan really stands by you.
I'm running a small business and a large family by myself, and Metropolitan really stands by me.
If Joey goes to medical school someday, I'll be glad I'm insured by Metropolitan, because Metropolitan will really stand by me.
We planned early for retirement, and Metropolitan really stood by us.
For insurance for retirement, home, car, health, and life.
Metropolitan really stands by you.
Saturday, doubleheader action. First headlining regional games. An exciting Eastern contest as Syracuse battles highly ranked Pittsburgh. Undefeated and third-ranked Ohio State tackles Illinois. SMU goes against Texas A&M. The Cinderella team of 79, Wake Forest battles Clemson. And Yale takes on Cornell for Ivy honors. Then at 4 Eastern, Arizona State, fighting to keep its Rose Bowl hopes alive, battles Stanford. Central Michigan takes on Toledo. And Temple against Hawaii. Check local listings for all the excitement. Saturday on ABC.
We're live at halftime in Atlanta. It was all Atlanta initially in this game. Seattle came back, maintained their poise. They now have a 21-14 lead. The teams are taking the field, and ABC's NFL Monday Night Football is being brought to you by Datsun, who invites you to test drive the all-new 200 SX Sport Coupe. It'll drive you like you've never been driven. That's your Datsun dealer now. We'll be ready for the second half kickoff after a word from our local station. Stay with us. More excitement coming your way.
Tuesday on Three's Company, an overnight guest is messing up Jack's love life. Then it's double love at first sight for Bobby and Tony.
Dump the both of them.
On Taxi. And on Heart to Heart, a swinging couple gets involved in murder, and Jonathan and Jennifer are next on the list.
Tomorrow. I'm concerned about issues like inflation. That's why I'm supporting the GAN initiative, Proposition 4, to limit government spending. I'm Steve Whitman. Last year, I fought successfully to cut the city budget. This year, I'm running for the San Diego City Council. I'm proud that in the primary election, I received more votes than any other council candidate. But that didn't just happen. I worked hard, and I'll work hard for you on the City Council.
Steve Whitman for City Council.
We're going to demonstrate how the massive girder beam front suspension system on this loaded Chevy pickup helps smooth the ride. At about 10 miles per hour, our mannequin takes the jolts the wheels do, but the Rancher rides smooth like the pickup driver. Because seal control arms and coil springs attached to the massive girder beam allow front wheels to take the bumps independently. Smooth riding Chevy pickups, built to take it so you don't have to. Chevy trucks, built to stay tough.
The news at 11, number 1 in San Diego.
Seattle over Atlanta. They have done it with guile. They have done it with daring. They went on a 4th and 7. The ball at the 34-yard line. Atlanta came with the blitz. Jim Dorn took it in 34 yards out. They came back with an onside kick. And now, Tim Massetti will set it up for Atlanta as we prepare to begin the second half. Again, it was 14-0 for Atlanta. They are fighting desperately with New Orleans and Los Angeles in the Western Division of the NFC. As we look at the two deep men dropping for the Seattle Seahawks, Jeff Moore, 32, a rookie from Jackson State, a 12th round draft pick. And Tony Green, who was sensational with the Redskins a year ago, lost his touch somewhere along the line, now attempting to regain it at Seattle. Ready to begin. Frank Gifford along with Howard Cosell and Fran Tarkenton. Jeff Moore. And Moore kicks it into overdrive, moves out over the 35-yard line, where Seattle will have a 1st and 10. We're anticipating Jim Zorn at quarterback, Dan Dornick. One setback, 33. Sherman Smith, the other, number 47. They are alternating with a 2 tight end offense. Brian Peets is in there. On occasion, they'll bring him out, and they'll bring in Steve Rabel. It's been effective. 3 wide receivers. Jim Zorn, your basic average night for a very gifted athlete. They mark it at the 35-yard line. 1st and 10. Sherman Smith handles on the first play. Turns to the inside over the right side. Squeezes out a couple. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Defensively for Atlanta, Smith, the rookie from Miami, at one end. Yates at the other end. Edgar Fields, Wilson Pamuino at the other tackle. Robert Pennywell in the middle. Greg Brazina, Fulton Kuykendall, the linebackers. Roland Lawrence, Rick Bias of the cornerbacks. It'll be Tom Pridemore and Frank Reed at safety. 2nd down and 8. Ball at the 37-yard line. Steve Largent. Split to the left. Sam McCullum, top of your screen. Those are the wide receivers for Seattle. Dorn has the time. Man is open. And he connects. It's McCullum. And McCullum has a 1st down. He's inside Atlanta territory. And when you give Zorn the time, he'll get his receivers open, and he can put it on a string.
And he really goes right back to it, doesn't he, Fran? Look at McCullum, isolated.
He really does. Sam McCullum makes a stiff arm here. Pretty good run at the football. He went to Seattle in the expansion draft as you look at Sam McCullum from the Minnesota Vikings. Good receiver at Minnesota. And doing a good job for the Seattle Seahawks. Zorn has got them moving again. Atlanta better stiffen up that defense.
Single coverage on McCullum that time. Double coverage on Largent. Even when Largent is not receiving the ball, he is a force. Handoff is Dornick, and the big man gets about 3 yards. Give him 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6. Robert Pennywell in on the stop.
Got a big one coming up next Monday night. Critical to the standings in the AFC East and Central. The Oilers against the Dolphins. The two teams, Frank, that gave us the best Monday night football game, I think, in the history of the series. 35-31 last year. Houston over Miami.
And boy, did Baltimore help Miami yesterday.
Yes, but Dolphins riddled by injuries yesterday. Just riddled by them.
2nd down, call it 5. The ball at the 32-yard line. Handoff, Dornick. Ball is loose. Atlanta's all over it. And Atlanta gets the turnover.
That's the break they needed.
Jeff Yates at the bottom of that pile.
That's exactly what they needed to break the momentum of the Seattle team.
Dornick coughs it up, and Atlanta, trailing by 7, will have the football. Good field position. We'll be back in Atlanta in just a moment.
You can own number 1. The Datsun 280ZX is the most popular sports car in the world. Winningest car in its class. Fuel-injected 2.8-liter engine, 4-wheel disc brakes, full track certified instrumentation. All for thousands less than its reputation. Take number 1 off the track and you're driving number 1 on the road. The 280ZX. Just price it today. give you the best for less.
Time for milk. Any meal is the right time for milk. A glass of milk makes a meal taste fine. When you're hungry, you'll agree. Milk is pleasing as can be. A great big glass of milk really makes the meal. A great big glass of milk really makes the meal.
Your favorite television stars up to their necks in fun. Lots to look at Friday night in the Battle of the Network Stars on ABC.
The question now for Atlanta, they get the turnover on this play. They'll have the ball at the 32. Dornick, the ball carrier.
He met a stone wall. This is Jeff Yates making the tackle. He strips him. The ball's going to come back, and 79 is going to make the recovery. That's a football play, and Atlanta needed that. For the whole second quarter, we see Jeff Yates, and he's happy. They've been dominated by the Seahawks. This is the break they needed, as Howard mentioned.
The ball at Atlanta's 33-yard line. Trailing 21-14. We're in the third quarter. Handoff is Kane. And the rookie, who picked up a 35-yard touchdown in the first quarter, over the right side for a yard and a half. It'll be 2nd and 8.
An action-packed football game, but a point that must be made. We had asked Billy Martin to come on. Emotionally undone, and quite understandably by the chain of events, he couldn't. But there are some points that Judge Saper, his attorney, asked me to make about Billy Martin. He does not think that the problem in Minnesota was the cause of the dismissal of Martin. He thinks the other party, a man named Cooper, was trying to protect himself. He says that Martin was baited and humiliated in the incident. More later.
2nd down and 8. Bartkowski, Mitchell, the tight end.
I think we got a holding penalty, Frank.
Flag down at the line of scrimmage. That's usually where you get it. Mitchell takes the football down to the 40-yard line. They're going to bring it back.
Important point right here, though. Bartkowski has got to work his tight end, Mitchell. He's got to work his 2 running backs against the linebackers of Seattle. He's been trying to get downfield too much to his outside receivers. That was a good play call, a good throw. All those can be nullified with the holding penalty. He's got to do more of that to give Atlanta a chance offensively.
Referee Bob Frederick.
Offensive holding, number 68, 2nd down.
Thielman, the right guard, number 68. You see him working against Robert Hardy, pulling Hardy to the ground, nullifying a game that would have put the ball 1st and 10 at Seattle's 40-yard line. But then again, you could say he might have preserved his quarterback for another day. Ball at the 25-yard line. 2nd down, 18. Andrews, single setback. The rookie from Auburn. Bartkowski with the roll. Looking for Wallace Francis. He's covered. And Bartkowski will go down. Manny Tuiasosopo. Tuiasosopo made the stop. Cornell Webster. Hardy was in there defensively with Tuiasosopo. Cornell Webster doing a good job on Wallace Francis. Nowhere for Bartkowski to put it.
As we look at Robert Hardy, Howard, we saw him in the exhibition game against the Cowboys this year. 10th round draft choice out of Jackson State. We thought then he was going to be an excellent defensive tackle, and he is.
And Seattle, a team built with, well, some great trades, some high-round draft choices, a lot of low-round draft choices, and a horde of free agents.
A loss of a couple. 3rd down, 21. Ball resting right at the 20-yard line. Bartkowski. Incomplete, intended for Jenkins. He could have caught it. It would have been a super catch. He still would have been short of the 1st down.
And so, Atlanta has to turn the ball over, and let's see if Seattle can recapture its offensive charge. Atlanta failed to take advantage of its opportunity.
That brings on John James, who does the punting for Atlanta. And this is Tony Green. Respecting James to the extent of his own 35-yard line. Their catch called for by Green, successfully made at the 37-yard line. 43-yard punt by John James, and we'll be returning to Atlanta in just a moment.
For those parents who realize that $500 isn't too much to spend to...
They got the turnover. They were unable to move the football. Seattle First and 10. Ball at the 37-yard line. Largent split to the left. Rabel out to the right. Largent beats the 30-second clock as he changes it off. Going for Largent. And what a catch. Largent inside the 15-yard line. And what a call by Zorn. He almost got called for delay of game, but he obviously changed it off and picked up Largent.
All right, here's a little play pass action. Jim hooks it off to the right. And we watch Rick Bias coming to the play. He's going to make a play for the ball, misjudges it. And Largent adjusts to the ball beautifully, makes a great catch.
Watch Largent again. Zorn got hit just as he threw it. The more you watch this Seattle team, regardless of the won and lost record, they lost their games early on. Tough schedule. You have to like this team and the way they play the game. They never let up offensively.
No, Bias just overplayed that. He had an easy play on the ball, anticipating, I don't know where he saw the ball, 53-yard pickup. The ball at the 10-yard line. Bias had good position on it. Just misplayed it. Largent in motion. Handoff is Sherman Smith. Smith pile driving forward for a couple.
Frank, you're absolutely right. Bias did have good position on the ball, but he's been a beleaguered cornerback this year.
He really has.
He's gotten ripped by the press here in town. He's had a tough time.
Lot of heat.
They mark it at the 9-yard line, so it'll be 2nd and 9.
Let's look for the pass on this play.
Largent at the top of your screen now, split to the right. McCullum in motion. Handoff right up the middle. It's Dornick, and he's pounded there after a gain of a couple. It'll be 3rd down and 6.
They should have gone to the pass there, Howard.
And Dornick is leaving the game. Came out of that pile-up limping. And that should produce Al Hunter, an All-American a few years ago at Notre Dame.
That's a kid who looked like he had super potential. And the Seattle people tell you flatly that he just hasn't lived up to it. Hunter, I mean.
3rd down, the ball at the 7-yard line. Largent split again to the right. Hunter is number 24.
He's going to throw to the outside receiver over here.
Hangs it up. Out towards McCullum, incomplete. And we will see Efren Herrera, the gifted and noted receiver of the Seattle Seahawks.
Oh, I love that play. That, to me, was the highlight of the season.
In case you missed it, on a 54-yard field goal set, it was Jim Zorn throwing over the middle for a first down to Efren Herrera in the first half.
You may yet see Premian in that role. After all, he tried to be a passer. So did Erxleben.
24-yard attempt. Zorn the holder. And it's good. Seattle extends their lead over Atlanta, 24-14. We'll be back in Atlanta in just a moment. Seattle over Atlanta, 24-14. A very important game for both clubs. However, much more important to Atlanta as they try to stay close to New Orleans in the Western Division of the NFC. New Orleans 5-4, Atlanta 3-5. They can move into a tie with the Los Angeles Rams, a game behind New Orleans if they can pull this game out tonight, but they're having tough sledding. Dennis Pearson for Atlanta. And Pearson takes it out close to the 30-yard line. For Atlanta, we'll have the offensive set again.
Frank, we've said that Atlanta's offense has done nothing since the first quarter, but let's give the Seattle Seahawks defense some credit here. They have really played good defensive football. Interesting thing to watch in this series. Will Bartkowski force the ball to the outside receivers, or will he go to the tight end or the backs, which he should be doing?
Jenkins, 84. Wallace Francis, 89. Those are the wide receivers. Len Kane is in there, 21. William Andrews, 31. Setback for Atlanta. First and 10, the ball resting right at the 30. And turning back to the inside is Len Kane, the rookie from USC. And he moved for good yardage, a gain of about 8.
Well, we're back to what you said at the start. You see Steve Bartkowski in that graphic. 6 incompletes, 1 interception, so he's fallen on hard times, Fran. But they've got to, as Seattle succeeded in doing, keep their poise. They can't get it back immediately. They've got 22 and a half minutes of this game left, plenty of time.
Second down, 1.5 yards for the first. Francis, bottom of the screen, handoff, goes to Andrews. Andrews has the first down, turns to the inside, spins away. Nifty running by the rookie from Auburn. He's still on his feet. He never does go down. That brings some life to this crowd, who really lost all their spark when Seattle turned this game around midway in the first quarter.
Now, this is the William Andrews we saw in the first 2 weeks of the season. He's going to break tackles on the outside. He's still twisting, turning, getting yardage. That is good running.
Tremendous balance.
Both of these running backs, Kane and Andrews, want to run tonight. Give them the ball and let them go.
He gets the first down for Atlanta, the ball right at midfield. Crowd snapping out of it. They know how important this game is to the Falcons. Kane following Andrews. Flag is down, where it usually is followed by an offensive call. Kane getting inside the 45-yard line, and again a flag is down. This time it's indicated against Seattle.
Now the crowd is coming to life, and now Atlanta is using those bookends, Ken and Bryant, and they're pouring through the line on the ground.
And they're using those 2 young rookie running backs who are fresh and ready to run.
Jim Mitchell being offered the options by referee Bob Frederick.
And the rain starts to come down again, and the umbrellas go up. You'll see a picture of that in a moment. Here's the call.
Defense, number 71, offside. Still first down.
Eller was offside. The penalty was accepted. There was a gain by Kane of about 6. They take the 5-yard penalty. The down remains the same as 1st and 5. This is Kane once again. Another flag is down. Kane has...
That has got to be offensive holding.
And that will hurt Atlanta. Kane was up close to a first down. And now it'll be marked off against the Falcons. 7:08 remaining in the third quarter.
Not a terrible situation for Bartkowski. He's got 1st and 15. He's still got 3 downs to get the 15 yards. Don't try to get it all in 1 down. Listen to the referee's call.
Pick up the Atlanta Falcon who was holding. Down remains the same, however. It'll be 1st and 15. Ball at the 45-yard line, and the rain is falling. Wallace Francis splits to the right. Bartkowski to the air. This is Andrews. And Andrews gets about 4 of it back. Upended there by Sammy Green defensively for Seattle. It'll be 2nd down and 11. William Andrews, and did he erupt on the pro football scene? Remember that great day against New Orleans, opening of the season? 167 yards. Atlanta rolling off 2 successive big wins over New Orleans, then Philadelphia. Then they lost 5 of the last 6 as they were knocked off by winless Detroit, knocked off last week by winless San Francisco. On 2nd and 11. Andrews caught there by Bill Gregory and brought down, but not until he picked up yardage. Moving to the 45, where it'll be 3rd and 5.
All right, up to now in this series, good, smart play calling. They didn't try to get it all in 1 down. They come to the 3rd and 5 situation. I believe that's an advantage for the offense.
Where they're attacking is where Seattle is weak over the first 8 games. They are next to last in the American Football Conference against the rush. And you're seeing Atlanta use their ground game. They're not that far out of it. 24-14. Kane in motion. Bartkowski. Incomplete. Intended there for Jenkins.
Big play.
Big play, and Bartkowski, give him credit. He put the ball right on the numbers. Jenkins did not come up with a play. You'll watch him here.
Not bad coverage by Webster either.
Not bad. He ran a little curl-in pattern. The ball is going to be delivered on time. He'll get hit right in the shoulder patch of the ball. It bounces off. Should have made the play.
Pretty clear, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
There's Cornell Webster. John James comes on 4th down. Tony Green positions himself in the middle of the field. James tries to come back with what he was successful with earlier, but this time Tony Green calls for and makes the fair catch at the 13-yard line. So once again, Seattle has turned Atlanta back. They'll have the football at their 13 when we return to Atlanta in a moment.
Bruce Jenner for the Minolta XG1.
The Minolta XG1 35mm camera is so automatic, I can keep taking pictures while my friend Bill rides his bike from shadow to sunlight. The XG1 changes the exposure, not just automatically, but continuously. Minolta's continuous automatic exposure system helps give you the pictures you never thought you could take at a price you never thought you could afford. The Minolta XG1, the automatic choice in automatic cameras.
Women of America, are you in charge?
I'm in charge. I'm in charge. I'm the boss. I'm in charge.
Master Charge wants to give you all the clout you're working for. So when you shop, you can say,
I'm in charge.
That's real clout.
When you carry Master Charge, you carry clout.
I'm not president of the company yet, but I'm still in charge.
That'll tell you something. Jim Zorn having a big night. He has the Seattle Seahawks out in front of the Atlanta Falcons. 24-14, 6:07 remaining in the third quarter. Zorn brings the Seahawks up 1st and 10 at their own 13-yard line. The tight end, Brian Peach, back in, number 88. Dornick and Sherman Smith, the setbacks. Dornick, who went out limping a short while ago, back in the offensive lineup for Seattle. Play action fake by Zorn. Hangs it up for Sherman Smith, and he was in a sprint with Greg Brazina, and Brazina was right with him. Zorn had to overthrow.
I think our fans can see Seattle's not just going to be content to sit on a 10-point lead. They're going after it. Good play calling.
That's the key to that play all night, under the leadership of that man, Jim Zorn. Now what they want to do is get the ball out of danger, not give up field position, work the clock at the same time, because even though there are still 21 minutes of football left, they are 10 ahead, and they know that's enough time for a lead like 10 points quickly to dissipate.
2nd down, 10. Zorn, 11 of 18, 167 yards. 97 yards for Largent on 4 receptions. Atlanta thinking pass, they get the run. Sherman Smith. Gain of a yard and a half. It'll be 3rd down and 8. Kuykendall defensively there for the Falcons, along with Yates.
This is a point in time where every series, as you know, Fran, is critical. Right along about here.
It really is, and it's more critical for Atlanta than Seattle this time, as Lehman Bennett's yelling encouragement there to his team. Atlanta needs field position. Their offense really hasn't done anything for a long time. If they can hold them here, they'll get field position. On the other hand, Seattle would like to keep the ball and keep it away from Atlanta. Interesting confrontation right here. Big play.
Ball resting right at the 15-yard line. 3rd and 8. Atlanta going blitz. Zorn with the long count. Atlanta comes off the blitz. Largent, complete, 1st down.
Oh, did he fire that?
And still was able to catch the football, gets the 1st down, out close to the 35-yard line.
All right, watch Jimmy Zorn, cool as can be, all the way back near his goal line. You'll watch from the left side. Largent's going to be breaking in. I mean, he drilled that ball. Largent went up, protected the ball. I mean to tell you, that's good football. Here's Steve Largent again. Coming into this game, averaged 21.5 yards a catch. The little man can play. Goes up, protects the football, catches it in his body.
I tell you, that was a super catch. That ball is wet. He had a little slip just before he had to go up for the ball, and still he came away with it. Sometimes you look at Largent, you wonder how he pulls it off. Almost picked off. Roland Lawrence almost came up with it. Largent on a turn-in did not come in as far as Zorn anticipated he was coming in, and he hit Roland Lawrence right in the hands.
Good pressure by Roland Lawrence there. Good pressure by the Atlanta defense that time. They went back and they blitzed. They must blitz to have a chance. They cannot let Here we go. We'll see him here. Zorn going back from the I formation. Going to fake to his deep back. You'll see the blitz coming from the top of your screen. He has to unload it quicker than he would like to. That allows Lawrence to get in position to make an attempt at an interception. He should have caught the ball.
Second down, 10. Ball just short of the 35-yard line. Atlanta once again showing the blitz, then getting out of it. Zorn warmed under.
Frank,
Jeff Yates was in there first.
That was a quarterback draw, Frank. He was trying to quarterback draw with the blitz. There's just not much room there. Watch him come back. He's going to take about 4 steps back, go right back up the middle. Jeff Yates blitzes right into it, and we've seen a lot of Jeff Yates tonight. He's the one who really messed up the play.
He took Steve August, the offensive right tackle, and drilled him right back into Zorn. That was 60, the end of it for your blitz. And your, what appeared to be, I guess it was an actual quarterback draw.
Yes, it was. Another big play, Frank. Another big third down play.
Third down, 12. Ball at the 32-yard line.
They faked the blitz, and that confused him. He was going to call an audible, didn't like what he saw, and is going back to the sideline to
using a timeout to do so. Well, it can confuse an offense when they haven't seen that much of it. Atlanta jumping in and out of it, hopping in and out of the blitz. Sometimes they come with it, sometimes they don't. Zorn, pretty heady, though. That's probably the right thing to do. You're sitting on a 10-point lead. You don't want to get hurt down here.
That is Howard Mudd, former great offensive guard for the San Francisco 49ers. Jimmy, don't you know you're not supposed to talk to offensive linemen and get strategy? But Howard Mudd is talking up to the booth to Jerry Rome, a former quarterback, and that makes sense, Howard.
I'll tell you this, Jerry Rome is, as we said during the preseason, prime candidate to become a head coach, a brilliant coach in the development and handling of young quarterbacks. Had his training down in Dallas, didn't he?
He did indeed. Let's set the stage for this. This is a tough offensive team to defense, Frank. But I think the only chance Atlanta has is to try to put some heat on him and put a blitz on him. If they don't blitz, safety men or whatever, he's going to have too much time to throw the ball, and his receivers are beating the Atlanta defensive backs.
They have not been able to pressure him all night without a blitz. Zorn is a very accurate passer. He has Largent, Rabel, and McCullum, 3 wide receivers. Largent comes out to the left, McCullum in the slot, Rabel split to the right. Third down, 13, the ball at the 32-yard line. Safety blitz.
They're going to safety blitz. There they go. And they got him.
Incomplete. Seattle will have to punt the football. Greg Brazina in there pressuring Zorn with help from his friends.
Should have been doing this all game, friend.
I hate to belabor the point, but watch the ruts here. 27 up the middle to safety blitz. At least Brazina open on the outside because they do not have a tight end. Jimmy had to throw the ball. Actually, if the Atlanta defensive back plays the ball, he would have intercepted the ball and run it back for a touchdown. That's their style of play. They better stay with it if they want to stop the Seattle offense or have any chance of it.
What it does for Atlanta, it gives them potential good field position. Weaver on to punt for Seattle.
Punt block is on.
Fake punt. Oh, my goodness. I do not believe the first down was made. It was Jesse Green, I believe, on a fourth down attempt, and it was Jesse Green. He caught the ball short of the first down, and this time the gamble did not work.
That's what I mean by a badly timed gamble. You've got a 10-point lead. You're down to 3:30 in the third quarter. Why give Atlanta field position?
You know, I hate to be one that calls it after the play happened, but that was not a calculated risk.
They never are when they don't work.
Well, they had 12 yards to go. They've got a lead. They've already tried a lot of gimmick plays tonight, and they've worked. That's one too many. That was not a good call.
No, it was a very bad call.
The ball at the 41-yard line. Seattle's 41-yard line. Atlanta possession. Wallace Francis split right. This is Kane. And the youngster rolls forward. He has a gain of about 7.
Let's face it, Fran, game situation should control calls, gambling calls.
They really should, and there's Jack Patera. And the other calls that were made, if they hadn't have worked, they wouldn't have hurt them so bad. Atlanta's been doing nothing offensively. They've given them a chance now to come back. and with excellent field position. If anything's going to fire for Atlanta, that call will. Now it's the burdens on the Atlanta offense to bring them in.
You're right. Field position, game situation. One of those earlier calls was on the opponent's 34. You couldn't get hurt.
Second down 3. The ball at the 34-yard line. Handoff. Andrews, big hole. Andrews has the first down. He's battling for more. Gets close to the 25.
And with that gambling call that failed, look at the fire suddenly in Atlanta. What they've been waiting for.
And the crowd, a sellout crowd of over 60,000. We don't know how many have arrived here on a very miserable night, quite frankly. The rain was supposed to let up. It's been raining on and off since the middle of the first quarter. Crowd alive on 1st and 10. Kane gets the call again. Picks up a couple of yards, give him 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7 at the 22. Howard Cook on the stop.
At this end of the field, it's 4-down territory. They're running the ball good. I would stay right with the run. All they've got to do is average 2.5 yards a run for 4 downs, and they got a first down. They're picking up 4 and 5 yards every time they run the ball. They should stay with it.
This has been Seattle's weakness throughout the year. Again, next to last in their conference against the rush.
And 22nd in the league in total defense.
Kane and Andrews alternating. 2nd down 7. Quick draw. Kane. Big opening. Kane inside the 10. Another Atlanta first down at the 9.
They've been brought to life by that unbelievable call.
And here's the rookie from Southern Cal, and he's a hot back. Give him the ball. Big, big hole. Good blocking by the offensive line in the middle. Jeff Van Note, Thielman, and Dave Scott.
Former junior college player of the year, where junior college football is so big in California.
And did you see William Andrews, 31, as the lead blocker? Bang!
First and goal. The ball at the 9-yard line. Kane gets the call. Gets close to the 5-yard line. They'll mark it at the 6. Gain of 3. It'll be 2nd and 7.
I'll tell you, guys, there's Lehman Bennett, and he's trying to figure out what in the world to call here. When you get the ball first and goal on the 9-yard line, it really stretches your running game. But they're running so well, I think they ought to stay with it. Ordinarily, I would.
2nd and goal. The ball at the 7. Francis goes left. Al Jenkins out to the right. Hand off. Andrews, and he's piled up. Maybe the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. And the time is going to expire here in the 3rd quarter with Atlanta threatening. You're watching another exclusive of ABC Sports. Seattle 24, Atlanta 14. Will return for the 4th quarter in a moment.
Wednesday, one of Charlie's Angels goes undercover in prison.
Okay, open up your task.
Chris does hard time.
What do you want me to do?
In a world where the strongest take what they want. Then
a fake punt by Seattle in their own territory that failed to pick up the first down. Atlanta took over possession. They now have the football, threatening. They have a 3rd and goal to go. The ball inside the 7-yard line. Very critical for the Atlanta Falcons. We begin the 4th quarter. Bartkowski. The rollout option. Fires back and is mishandled, dropped by the tight end, Jim Mitchell.
Fran, that's why with 9 yards to go, they had to throw earlier. Meanwhile, you've got to feel that Atlanta feels that Mitchell's skills have diminished.
This is a good call. The play pass action. Mitchell was going to sneak across the line to the left. The throw was not a good throw. It's behind him. But he still should have caught the football. He still should have caught the football.
Of course he should have. The man's been an all-pro tight end.
4th down, out comes Tim Mazzetti. He's had his problems. He missed a couple of tip shots last week against San Francisco. He missed a little one that could have won the Denver game that Denver ultimately won in overtime. John James holds. This one was kicked low and was blocked. No good.
Now they're booing the bartender from Philadelphia out of the University of Pennsylvania. The great hero a year ago in a Monday night game when he kicked 5 field goals and beat Los Angeles 15-9. He's missed 2 extra points in his last 2 games. Eddie LeBaron told me today his problem has become mental.
It really has. Early in the year, he missed a field goal against Denver to win a game. There's Jim Mitchell. He's disgruntled. He missed a field goal against Detroit to win that game, and he really has gotten mental with him. The kid's a pretty together kid, but it's gotten to him. That ball was kicked low.
No one is feeling worse right now than Jim Mitchell. That field goal attempt probably would not have been necessary. Ball was slightly behind him, but it should have been caught. He could have scored. On 1st and 10, Sherman Smith gets the call. Picked up by Pridemore after he gets over the 25 to the 26, a gain of 6, 2nd and 4.
Well, you know what Seattle wants to do? They want to play ball control. How much they'll keep it on the ground, how much they'll go in. He's not afraid. He'll throw the football.
I think they won't sit on it. I think they'll continue to throw the football because it's a tough defense to run against, but it's a relatively easy defense to throw against.
Not much that Seattle has not tried tonight. 2nd down, 4. Ball at the 26. Hand off. Dornick. Both arms on the football, a la Zonka. Dropped close to a 1st down.
Bob Uecker and the yard line.
And it is Seattle 1st down. Seattle sporting a 24 to 14 lead. 3-5 in their Western Division of the AFC. San Diego and Denver, of course, on top there, both with 6-3 records. Ball at the 33-yard line of Seattle. Zorn looks quickly to the right. There's receiver there. Peets, tight end not open. He turned, went to McCullum. Incomplete.
Well, you can't get games back that you've lost. Seattle keeps looking back to their key game of the year against Denver. They rolled up 34 points, had a huge lead, and suddenly it was all gone. And Denver had captured the football game. Today, with John Thompson, the general manager, we were talking about that game. You just can't get them back.
That was the day that Craig Morton came off the bench. The win it for Denver, 37-34. 2nd and 10. Atlanta thinking run. They bobble the football, and Atlanta has it.
And Seattle is making mistakes. Right there, they tried to protect the football. They played defensive football, and they paid for it with the turnover.
Sherman Smith fumbles. Atlanta has it.
Hey, truckers, Dodson's gun up.
1st and 10 Atlanta from their own 30-yard line. Bartkowski back looking. Underthrows out on the flat. Intended out there for Andrews. Incomplete.
You know, that pass was deflected to the line of scrimmage. That was Bart's fault. He's a big guy, 6'4". You don't throw the ball on a line when you've got a defensive lineman in your face. Andrews is way open. He had to loop the ball over the defensive lineman. He's feeling the stress.
The gain is to the 31-yard line. 2nd down, 7. Rickman is in there. Draw play, however. Kane has it. Or rather, Andrews. And Andrews moves for good yardage, short of the 1st down.
All right, situation here, Frank. 3rd down in that part of the field. You really got to figure you got 2 downs to make it. The call here is a running play. Because if you don't make it on 3rd down, you'll get close for a 4th down goal. They need a 1st down.
3rd down, about 2.5 yards. Andrews single setback for Atlanta. Andrews gets the call. He's very close to the 1st down. Ornell Webster of Seattle says no, he does not have it, but we are probably going to have a measurement. Nope, they say they do not need to measure. So we have a 4th down.
All right, Atlanta this time is putting in 2 setbacks. Last time they had 1 setback. In short yardage situations, you need both setbacks in there. One to lead block and the other to carry the ball.
The 2 tight ends are in. Mitchell, McKeska. Andrews, 31. Kane, 21. Those are setbacks. We're in the 4th quarter. Atlanta trailing by 10 points. The Seattle Seahawks. Kane.
He didn't make it.
Turnover. Seattle says he did not make it.
Stalwart effort by the Seattle defense.
Beeson, I believe, and he does not like where they're marking the ball.
If he made it, it's an absolute miracle.
Yeah, but the way they put it down, he may have.
Spotting of the ball is always critical.
Headlinesman right on the line of scrimmage. He picks up the progress. And that's going to be an Atlanta first down.
And that, my friend, is a break for the Atlanta Falcons.
And Beeson is enraged. Look at it again.
Look at the penetration of the Seattle defensive line. Here goes Kane up. And he's hit way back by Beeson.
They mark for the ball.
Well, the forward plane, maybe you could argue he made it.
Well, the headlinesman is stationed right at the line of scrimmage. It's academic. First down Atlanta, near the 20-yard line. Kane in motion. Kane on just a flanker without a screen man in front of it. Autry Beeman moving up there quickly, making an open field tackle. After Kane picks up a yard and a half.
You know, that's about the 5th time they've used that play. Seattle's finally figured it out. I like them throwing to the backs, but get them down the field a little bit. That play's been worn out.
I'll tell you, that was a super play by Beeman. They're tackle a running back in open field. He tackled him right at the line of scrimmage. But he was down 10.
But he was right up on him at the time, Frank.
Quick toss. This is Kane. Andrews out in front of it. Kane slithering for a couple. It'll be 3rd down and 8.
You're not going to do it that way. Makes no sense.
You know, the play selection here in this series has just not been good. First down play to throw the little flare out wasn't good. Run on 2nd down, also not good.
He really, Bartkowski, as you look at his figures, has gone downhill.
He really has. He's struggling to find something. He needs, for his own confidence, to get a completion. He's going to have to get one here down the field.
Or the Seattle defense is going uphill.
That's right.
3rd and 8. Francis in motion. Bartkowski has the time. That's it. Billy Rickman, touchdown Atlanta. Atlanta back in the ball game.
All right.
Close.
And Bartkowski back in the ball game. The most critical down of the game thus far.
Credit to that offensive line. They gave him the time.
They really did. It's a crossing pass. It's a long time. Bartkowski, to his credit, had poise, threw that one on the money. Little Billy Rickman hadn't been used much this year. He's got another little man, Howard. He's got great hands, not much speed, and he's small. But he makes plays for him whenever he gets into the football game.
He was super last year, Rickman, filling in for Alfred Jenkins. He just has not played much this year, and he has brought, along with Bartkowski, Atlanta back into this football game. Mazzetti, crowd holding his breath. The conversion is good. And Atlanta has drawn close. They're within a field goal of tying this football game up. We'll be back in a moment.
Best Zenith ever. System 3 is even better. Even better. The sharpest Zenith picture ever. Sharpest picture. An all-modular chassis designed to be the most reliable Zenith ever. Most reliable. And now, better sound. 4 speakers, audio jacks, even an audio control center. Better sound. Zenith. System 3. System 3. Now, even better.
It's the Battle of the Network Stars with Dick Van Patten, Joanna Cassidy, Robert Conrad, Valerie Bertinelli, Ed Asner, and more. Friday on ABC.
He's not been used that frequently this year. Billy Rickman last year filling in for an injured Al Jenkins. He caught 45 passes, so we know he can do it, and he has just brought Atlanta back into this football game. They now trail the Seattle Seahawks 24-21.
The whole key now will be to watch Zorn. He tried to sit on the football the last time. It was a critical mistake, resulted in a turnover, led to that Atlanta score. So it's a wide-open ball game again with 10 minutes left in the ball game.
Seattle has helped Atlanta back into the game. That was Billy Rickman's first reception of the year, and what an important one for Atlanta.
Tim Mazzetti pumps it. Tony Green at his 10-yard line. And Tony Green with a fine return. It's Seattle out of the hole. They'll have good field position.
That's Rickman again. Remember, as Fran told you, not one reception this year until that one for the touchdown. 45 a year ago.
The scouting report on little Billy Rickman is slow but small, but he can play.
Slow but small.
Slow but small, but he can play.
That's what they said about Howard Twilley.
That's right. All right, pressure back on Jimmy Zorn, but he can handle it.
1st and 10. Seattle has the ball. Their own 34-yard line. Play action. Going out to McCullum, incomplete. Good defensive play. Lawrence defensively for Atlanta.
Not a good throw by Jim that time. A little tentative. He threw behind Sam McCullum. It'll be interesting to see if Atlanta's going to come and go on with their blitzing type defense to try to sit back and cover them.
They shouldn't.
They shouldn't. They should try to go live or die with their blitz because that's the best thing they got going for them.
9:46 remaining in regulation play. Crowd, a partisan one, of course, exhorting their Falcons. They vacillated between booing and exhorting.
Good goal put.
Play action again by Zorn. Fires out. His favorite receiver is Largent.
I'll tell you,
he has a first down.
It was lucky there. That was not a good throw. That ball waffled and it was low, and it was that man, Largent, who made the completion work.
Well, you don't throw them all perfect, and you like to have an eraser out there like Steve Largent who can make that kind of catch for you. And that gives a little confidence to the quarterback. Now he'll get untracked a little bit. But there again, Atlanta didn't come with the all-out blitz, Howard.
You've had your share of races.
Have I ever? Thank God for Ahmad Rashad and Sammy
White. Rashad.
1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Dornick pile driving and carrying Yates with him. He's strong. You refer to him as big. He goes about 210. 6'3", and that really isn't all that big anymore in professional football, but he picked up 3 yards. Tough 3 yards. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Don't forget next Monday night, folks, Houston at Miami. Remember, 35-31 Oilers a year ago. Grits blitz. That's what we're looking for now. We haven't been seeing.
Seconds ticking away. We're inside 9 minutes. Largent split to the right. This is McCullum in motion. And off, Sherman Smith. And Smith is hit initially there by Joel Williams. Smith short of the first down by about a yard and a half.
Tough back, and what a big play now. We mentioned as the minutes waned down in the 3rd quarter that every series was critical then. It's like Mr. Lombardi used to tell his players, you've got to give everything you've got on every single play, because any single play can determine the outcome of the entire game. That's what's at stake right here.
Now, interesting thing, 3rd and 2, Seattle's come with their short yardage offense, the 2 big tight ends. But I would not be surprised to see him fake the run and go to the pass here. But let's see.
Dornick. He should have. Short of the first. It'll be 4th and about a yard. Yates was there first, and then came his fouls.
So unless there's a big gamble here by Patera, it means giving up the football.
I don't think we'll see a big gamble here. I think they'll kick it away for once tonight.
They're not indicating that they are inclined to send in the punter, Herman Weaver. 4th down. Maybe less than a yard, just about a yard. And Jack says, go get it, guys.
Well, I'll tell you, this is an interesting call.
He's got a lot of guts.
I love Jack Patera. I think he's a great football coach. I respectfully disagree with this strategy at this time. I don't think Atlanta can drive the length of the field in Seattle, but they could from here. Whoa, what a play.
Less than a yard. Dornick. First down in a big opening, and Dornick is hanging onto the football as he battles close to the 25-yard line. And as you so often see on short yardage, once you're through, the linebackers have filled the gaps, and you get a big gainer.
Well, that's why Jack Patera is the coach, and I'm up here. He knew what he was doing. Dornick comes right up the middle. He makes a big play, but some good blocking in the middle of the line with Yarno, Lynch, and Newton. Good job, offensive line.
short yardage situation, as Frank said, that's when you can really bust it. We've seen Leroy Harris do that twice in his days with Miami, Frank. Once in a big one.
Everyone is filling gaps on short yardage. You get the opening, you can really tack it on.
Once in a big one against Baltimore.
Ball at the 17-yard line. That could take a lot out of Atlanta. Ball at the 27 and incomplete, intended there for McCullum.
No quarrel with that call, Francis.
No, and I think the thing to keep in perspective here, a field goal really doesn't help them that much. The field goal only gives them a 6-point lead. They need to score a touchdown here. I think Jack Patera understands that, and Jim Zorn understands that. They were going for the touchdown there. Good call.
But also they're chewing up the clock. 6 minutes, 12 seconds left.
Argent comes back into the game, stops off, has a visit with quarterback Zorn, bringing the play into Zorn.
The game is really in the balance on this drive here. Seattle scores a touchdown. It'll be very difficult for Atlanta. Atlanta's defense has got to come to play if they hope to win.
3 wide receivers, Rabel, McCullum, and Largent. McCullum is in motion. And off is to Smith, and he's piled up right at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Now they're in trouble.
They have dug themselves a hole right now. 3rd and 10 is not easy. However, if you're going to have 3rd and 10, I would just soon have Mr. Zorn at quarterback as most anybody in football.
That's a big statement.
Well, I would also like to have Bradshaw or Staubach, too.
Yeah, I would think.
But one of those 3 I would like to have.
Or Greasy. Right down the line.
Bob may be on his way back off yesterday's performance against Green Bay.
He had himself a day, didn't he?
Yep, and it was nice to see.
It really was nice to see.
Class guy.
Got the whole thing in perspective about quarterbacking. They get too much praise and they get too much blame.
Well, my goodness.
Again, Seattle calls timeout. So, 5:21 remaining in the game. It'll be 3rd and 9 when we return to Atlanta for Seattle.
You know what?
The Seattle Seahawks down to 1 timeout. Zorn either did not like the information he got from the bench or did not like something was going on. Used another timeout.
And Frankie's used 2 timeouts the second half. If they don't score and Atlanta does score, then he's going to be left with only 1 timeout to make a last-minute try at the victory.
The ball at the 26-yard line, 3rd down and 9. Largent split to the left.
They're coming after him.
McCullum split to the right. Atlanta taking the football, jump out of it, and Seattle bobbles the ball. Atlanta has it.
Well, what you have just seen is
Robert Pennywell recovers for Atlanta.
What you've just seen is a whole series of foul-ups.
Yep.
And as Frank and Fran have discussed along with me so often, now watch the snap. It almost hits him in the chin. But no matter, the 2 wasted timeouts were the key. Because when the coach keeps sending in the plays, some confusion, especially with young people, can result. And you could see it almost happening before you hear. So Atlanta is still alive with 5 minutes, 18 seconds left.
And the important part, Howard, if Atlanta does score, Seattle only has 1 timeout to use in the last couple minutes.
5:18 remaining in the game. Atlanta has the ball. They're at their own 26-yard line, and here comes Len Kane. And Kane pounded but stays on his feet at the line of scrimmage.
I'll tell you, Terry Beeson made a great play there.
Terry Beeson, the middle linebacker, met Kane as he cut back, and that was it. Gain of maybe a foot. It'll be 2nd down, long 9.
There's Terry Beeson. Here it is, a running play on the 1st down. Watch 58 at the top of your screen coming to fill the hole. He's going to come from nowhere and make a play. He comes through the blocker. That's some football play. Gets a little help from Archie Beeman. Atlanta's going to have to throw the ball if they hope to get back in this thing.
Rickman split to the left. Kane, 99 yards on the night rushing. Bartkowski is going to be sacked. Down he goes. Gregory was in there first. He got help from Duasasopo.
Well, watch this. They're going for the touchdown, the long bomb. He's going to set up and pump and then try to hit Rickman long. This is not good football.
Look at Gregory fight through that block. Only from a team as laden with personnel as Dallas could Gregory have been let go, and he went in a tree.
But the point of the thing, Howard, they're trying to go for a long bomb on 2nd and 10 when your defense is expecting pass. They're going to pass rush you hard. It's just not a good call. Now they've got themselves in a hole with 3rd and 20.
Clock moving, 4:10. Gregory with a big play. 3rd down, 18. Wallace Francis in motion. And was Tuiasosopo first, and then Gregory got the sack. Gregory second. Tuiasosopo pressuring, and then Gregory was there.
Well, you can't win that way.
That brings up 4th down, and James will have to punt, and he is going to be punting from the end zone. They had the ball 1st and 10 at their own 26-yard line. They are now inside their own 10 at the 9. Good defensive play by Seattle. Fair catch called for and made and grabbed by Tony Green.
Atlanta's got it.
Did they give him enough room?
I think they did.
It was his own man, I believe. 3:40 now on the clock.
Frank, you got a flag down on the field. Atlanta might have had somebody going down the field too quickly.
Flag down way back towards the end zone.
That's what the call was. You're exactly right.
Downfield early.
Ineligible man downfield. Isn't it amazing? This game at times so brilliantly played, so excitingly played, now deteriorating into being poorly played. On that last series, you could blame partially the Atlanta offensive line, which failed to give Bartkowski protection, and then Bartkowski himself, who's been extremely slow in the late going. Remember Fran's interview with him, which we played at the start of the game, in which Bartkowski admitted that absence of his consistency had been his problem.
They're going to bring it back. Atlanta's going to have to kick again. But the point is, Howard, I really think they had a bad series of plays there. You don't want to put your offensive line in that kind of pressure situation where they've got a block on a 2nd and 12 or 2nd and 14 when the defense knows they're going to have to throw the football. And that's exactly what they did, and they try to throw deep.
Tony Green should have let that ball drop. He shouldn't have gone near it because he was overwhelmed by a whole coterie of red shirts around him.
You're absolutely right. This is a big break for Seattle.
There's referee Bob Frederick.
.340 left in the game.
Here's the call.
Ineligible man downfield on the kicking team. 5-yard penalty. Half the distance, not 5 yards, half the distance. Repeat of the 4th down.
And this means that James will not have his customary dish just about the yardage he would be kicking from. He's way at the back of the end zone, and you can really figure the Saddle's going to go for it. They do, but James hurries it, gets off a good kick. Fair catch called for cautiously by Tony Green, and rightfully so. So Seattle will have the football at the 45-yard line of the Atlanta Falcons. 3:32 remaining in the game. We'll be back in just a moment.
Wherever you grew up, going home these days can be quite a surprise. Because everywhere you go, America is remodeling.
So good to see the folks again. So good to see. So many things to share. So good to see the home I knew and loved.
And at Georgia Pacific, we're helping more Americans remodel with our products than ever before for living space.
Always knew it had.
Or enjoying space.
Great possibilities.
And you can find the building materials you need at thousands of our registered dealers everywhere. Like pre-cut wood products, the plans, the ideas, the help you need to do projects yourself. Because at Georgia Pacific, we see America's older homes as one more resource we can't afford to waste.
Daddy, you haven't changed a thing.
Georgia Pacific.
Great.
Oil, gas, coal, gypsum, timber, and the skill to manage them.
Saturday, top regional action. First, Syracuse-Pittsburgh, Ohio State-Illinois, plus other games. Then Arizona State-Stanford headlines later games. Check local listings on ABC.
Regional college football, and consult the directory to see which game you'll be receiving in your area. College football here on ABC.
And And on the graphic, you saw Wake Forest up there. And they've been a surprise of the ACC with a great young quarterback, Venuto. He's having a wonderful year for him.
Seattle, 1st and 10. Ball at the 45-yard line. Their efforts now directed at the clock. It says 3:32 remains in the game. Dornick, single setback, gets the call. Finds a little opening. Gets about the 36-yard line. Gain of 4. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Howard Frank, Atlanta has one chance here. They've got to put 9 people up on the line of scrimmage. They got to use safety blitzes, corner blitzes. That time they did not. Seattle. Go Seahawks. Seattle's going to try to run the ball. The best defense against the run is to put 9 people up there.
That's when Zorn broke it for a touchdown. Remember?
I'd still take the percentage play there and put them up there. And they don't have them up there. I don't understand it.
Dornick, 81 yards on the night. McCullum in motion for Seattle. Dornick gets the call again. Rolls ahead and gets very close to the first down.
I really don't.
We're going to see a measurement.
2:45 left. 2:43.
First down. They don't even have to measure.
That is absolutely unbelievable. I just don't understand why they don't have everybody up there. They have a slim chance, but the best chance they have is to have everybody in the line of scrimmage with their safety blitzes. They're going to run the football. They don't want to throw it now.
Atlanta has 3 timeouts. We'll anticipate one before the 2-minute warning. Seattle stretching the 30-second clock. Dornick.
They're still not up
given
there.
The assignment to kill the clock, and he picks up a quick 9 yards. Finally stopped by Brazina.
He's wound up with a pretty good game, Mr. Dornick.
And there is the 2-minute warning.
4 yards.
2-minute warning. 2nd down and 1. And we'll be back in Atlanta. The crowd anticipating what is going to happen, and that is Seattle.
Can you imagine trying to photograph an Olympic gold medalist like Jean-Claude Killy? It's quite a challenge. Made me really appreciate my Canon AE1. The automatic shutter priority system is a must, especially when your subject's doing 50 miles an hour. Try it, it's fun. What? The AE1 is so simple to use. About all you do is focus and click.
The incomparable Canon AE1, so advanced, it's simple. Canon, the official 35mm camera of the Winter Olympics.
After all these years, I still like working out. But what I really like is the beer that's waiting for me when it's over. And if you work out the way we do, there better be a lot of beer waiting. That's why we drink light beer from Miller. Light has 1/3 less calories than the regular beer, and it's less filling, and it tastes great. Take it from a guy who works out a lot. Could really use one right now.
There you go, Bruce.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
The festivities continue here in Atlanta. The football, however, lacking somewhat. Atlanta unable to stop Seattle. They just gave the ball to Dornick in consecutive attempts, and Dornick has been rambling right through the middle of the Atlanta defense.
Maybe if they put her in there, she could stop the Seahawks.
Should get their attention.
Little doubt about that.
Ball close to the 25-yard line. 2nd down, 1. We've got Miami-Houston next Monday night. That ought to be quite a game. And then we have them later in the year. Miami, that is, against New England. And Houston later against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Denver, San Diego coming up out in the AFC Western Division. Right now they're tied for the lead. They must be looking on tonight.
Guess what, gang? They got everybody up this time.
2nd and 1. Dornick. Goodbye.
Makes no difference.
Touchdown right up the middle.
That's what happens when you have everybody up, Sir Francis.
Wrong. The best defense against the run is a blitzing, and anybody knows that. That's just not good football on defense, but you've got to have them up there.
I'll tell you, that was a fine block by Yarno. John Yarno, the tackle. But they had the first down. John Yarno with a tremendous block for Seattle.
What a night Dornick has had.
He really has, hasn't he?
Over 100 yards.
121 to be exact.
So that just about does it. A terrific loss facing Atlanta. Virtually puts them out of things. Seattle 2 games behind San Diego and Denver with outside hopes.
Efren Herrera for the conversion. And Efren Herrera puts it to the uprights. And we have 1:54 remaining in the game. Seattle now leading 31-21.
Check your pulse. Here comes the new Datsun 200 SX. 0 to 50 in 8.4 seconds with a revolutionary new fuel-injected engine that gives you the best gas mileage in its class. Inside plush velour buckets, power steering, overdrive 5. The young new Datsun 200 SX. To give you the drive of your life.
Antifreeze. You never think about it, or how it has to protect somebody beside you, or what could happen without antifreeze. Stranded in freezing weather and no help for miles. Don't trust your luck. Don't trust the weather. Take out old, weak antifreeze now and put your trust in Prestone too. More people trust Prestone than all other brands combined.
But I've been worried about you.
More people trust Prestone. And when you flush your cooling system, trust Prestone Super Flush.
Dan Dornick of the Seattle Seahawks having himself quite a night. As is the offensive line for the Seahawks.
Howard, you pointed out a while ago, with the edge the AFC has over the NFC, there's no question the AFC has better football teams than the NFC, and I'm an old NFC man talking. And it's been that way for the last 3 or 4 years.
Well, this will make it overwhelming.
Yes, it will.
21-9.
Efren Herrera drills it along the ground. Picked up by Haskell Stanback. And Stanback gets out over the 30, close to the 35-yard line, where Atlanta will take over. 1st and 10. They trail by 10 points. They have 3 timeouts. And there is the youngster. He has put on quite a show tonight. Again, came up last year as a 7th-round draft pick with the Giants. Did all right there. Had over 300 yards with a 5.1 average. Came into tonight as Seattle's leading receiver with 33 receptions. And put together a 121-yard night. And did it the hard way. 1:48 remaining in the game. Wallace Francis in motion for Atlanta. This is Francis over the middle. He has it complete. Out close to midfield. Hit there by Dave Brown. Wallace Francis, I believe his first reception of the night.
Yes, he's been suspiciously silent. Bodkowski, for whatever reason, hasn't thrown to him.
Came in tonight with 37. But tonight he has not received much attention from the Atlanta offense.
Figures are misleading. The 11 of 20, that's always a deceptive statistic. Only 94 yards, Fran.
I think that's the important one, how many yards they got throwing the football. Only 94 yards is not enough, especially against a powerful offensive team like the Seattle Seahawks.
Jim Zorn has had himself quite a night. What a day he had last week against Houston. He went 11 straight. Wound up in the first half 14 of 60. Wound up for the day last week against Houston 18 of 23 for 252 yards and 3 touchdowns. Tonight, Zorn 13 of 25, 197 yards.
You know, the interesting thing here, Seattle's compared many times with Tampa Bay, Howard, in their growth. But would you think that if Seattle was playing in the National Football Central Conference, that they might be on top of that conference also?
Yes, I think so.
Speaking of Tampa Bay, they're right on top of that Central Division. 7-2, nearest team to them, Minnesota. On 1st and 10, Bartkowski fires. Complete. Goes to Lynn Kane. Kane with a gain of about 7. Give him 6. It'll be 2nd down and 4.
Counting out rapidly now.
Bartkowski knows there's only one way to pull this game out, if at all possible, and that is get one quickly. Andrews trying to get to the sidelines to stop the clock.
Well, they've had a way of getting the Hail Marys against New Orleans, but that's when one touchdown would win it for them. There's the time remaining.
Well, they were famous, Howard, for the miracle finishes of a year ago. There's Jimmy Zorn. But this year they had one miracle finish. Hello, Jimmy. Good night. They had one miracle finish in the first game of the season against New Orleans, but since then there have been no miracles. And this would really be a miracle tonight if they pulled this one out.
He looks like a Boy Scout troop leader.
He's a tremendous young man.
Great sense of humor. On first down, Bartkowski fires and it's complete to Alfred Jackson, the second-year man out of Texas. Got an all-time University of Texas record during his collegiate career there.
Now, I know our fans sitting at home there wondering, why couldn't they have been doing this all night? And I'll tell you, I don't know why.
Well, Seattle is giving them a lot now. They would not be giving them ordinarily. Lehman Bennett.
That's a good football coach, Lehman Bennett. He's a very stable guy. He keeps his cool. He's done a good job here in Atlanta. They're having troubles this year, but he's building a solid football organization, he and Eddie LeBaron. A tough loss for him tonight.
Looking for the playoffs last year with a 9-7 record. On first down, Bartkowski again with a lot of time. And open in the end zone is Rickman.
Well.
Rickman. Howard. Touchdown Atlanta. And you know what's coming up following the conversion?
The stands are nearly. Those still remaining are standing. And hope is eternal.
Rickman, his second touchdown of the night for Atlanta.
And his second catch of the season. Maybe they should be playing him more. This is a good throw by Steve. Rickman has beat his man over there. Cornell Webster. A little help by Archie Beeman, but he catches the ball. How about this scenario? They make the extra point onside kick and hit Big Ben down the right sideline.
Then you'd have your miracle finish.
I'm telling you.
Mazzetti needs the conversion. He gets it. And stay tuned for the onside kick. 51 seconds on the clock.
Now, you don't think Jacques Pater's a little nervous? As far-fetched as it may seem, I know he is.
He'll have all of his sure hands along the front for Seattle. Receiver tights. 51 seconds.
Frank, let's talk about Big Ben and what it is. What Big Ben is, they line up three receivers on the same side of the field, send them down and say, run as far as you can, and Steve Bartkowski throw it as far as you can and hope that somebody will tip the ball to the other.
Or you have pass interference.
Now, keep in mind also...
Billy, you're having yourself a night.
Frank, keep in mind also, a field goal will put the thing in overtime. That might disrupt your getaway plans, but that's the way it is.
I'd like to see it.
Would you?
Sounds good. Atlanta. They'll be going with the onside kick.
Now, many times teams will shift their players all to one side of the field and then try the onside kick. Let's see if Atlanta goes to such a shift.
Seattle has everyone up except one man deep.
And most of the people they have up are either wide receivers, defensive backs, or running backs, people that are used to handling the football. That's who's up there to try to catch this onside kick. Let's see if Atlanta goes to the shift. I don't think they are. Yeah, they are. Here they come.
Here they come.
They're going to kick it to
Seattle's shifting with them.
And they'll kick it to the left side, Frank. I would think. Good kick.
Has to go 10 yards.
Good kick.
Atlanta,
would you believe it?
Have it.
Well, listen.
That ball had to travel 10 yards.
And
no
oh, my goodness.
Atlanta has it. They have it just about 10 yards and a foot.
Can you imagine? Look at Jim Zorn doesn't believe it. Maybe we can get a look at Patera.
Now, Atlanta has 2 timeouts, 50 seconds. They've got plenty of time. They've got the ball. Where is it, Frank? Is it on the 45-yard line?
Ball at the 45-yard line. 2 timeouts remaining. They need a field goal to tie it up.
That is a great onside kick. Give Tim Mazzetti a lot of credit. And he's been beleaguered this year, but boy, what a kick. This is getting interesting. They're not in the Big Ben.
Wallace Francis split out to the right with Alfred Jackson. Jackson in motion. They hit him earlier, coming across the middle from that set. He's open now.
He's got him open. He's got him open.
42 seconds, they could win it.
Howard, do you think Seattle's thinking Denver game again? They had the Denver game won 34-10. Lost the game to Denver.
I don't believe this.
What a throw. Steve Bartkowski, Alfred Jackson running the corner pattern. Perfect, right on the money. Wallace Francis.
He finally found him twice in the late going.
I'll bet 50,000 people have left this stadium.
Yeah, what a tragedy. There's no one here really to to see it.
We're the only ones here.
2 timeouts. The ball situated right at the 10-yard line.
A field goal, no problem.
A touchdown wins it.
All right, all he's got to be careful of here is don't throw the interception, throw for the end zone.
2 tight ends, McKeska and Mitchell. Single wide receiver. Wallace Francis, single setback, that is.
He's got him. Oh! Did he intercept it? He intercepted it.
The one thing he had a guard again.
Dave Brown. That's the interception.
The one thing.
It was not hardly out of your mouth, friend.
And you talk about a beleaguered man, which Dave Brown has been in his career. So, in an incredible finish, Atlanta blew an almost certain tie.
All right, here he goes. He's really blind here, coming back. He's got a halfback on a swing down the sideline. Dave Brown drops off with his outside receiver, gets in position to make the interception, and he made it. What an interception.
It was a beauty.
Dave Brown, who started every game Seattle has ever played, and a former #1 draft pick with the Pittsburgh Steelers, comes up with a big play for Seattle. 35 seconds remaining. Seattle can run it out. Atlanta can stop it twice.
Doesn't matter. I can picture George Allen.
I got to tell you, people, my heart goes out to Steve Bartkowski, because there was a game against the Los Angeles Rams some years ago when the quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings did the same thing in overtime to cost us the victory, and we got a tie. That's a tough feeling.
And they wore the same number.
Yes, he did.
So you are executive producer of ABC Sports is Bruin Arley. JBC's NFL Monday Night Football produced by Dennis Lewin, directed by Chester Forty. Our technical director, Bill Morris. Associate director, Rob Biner. Technical manager, Coach Coltrane. Unit manager, Dennis Zabo.
I mentioned George Allen because if ever there was a man who taught against mistakes, who knew how to take advantage of every opportunity, whose teams play opportunistic football, it was George Allen. And that was just a brutal mistake. They couldn't miss a tie.
The thing about it, when I said he had somebody open, then he had to split in open inside, and he went to the swing halfback.
That's the football game. Atlanta cannot stop it.
That's right.
Anymore. Timeouts are gone. 27 seconds on the clock, and there's Bartkowski. And you know what he's going through, but let's put it this way. He also brought him back into this game.
Yes, he did.
That's not what he'll remember.
Of course it isn't. He's a competitor and a winner.
It's a tough position to play, and I think the position is getting tougher and tougher all the time. The quarterbacks in this league who have to go 16 weeks with all the scrutiny every week of every play they do, it's tough. And Jack Patera is breathing a big sigh of relief. But Howard, these two teams have given us a great football game.
They did. I think it was our best game of the year. It had great excitement. It had great inventiveness. And suddenly, in the fourth quarter, it did deteriorate. But then Atlanta's near unbelievable comeback brought it all back.
This will be the last play of the game. Atlanta unable to stop the clock any further.
That's it.
Excitement. We've had a share of that. The unexpected, we've had that. Atlanta jumping off to a 14-0 lead. Seattle keeping their composure under this man, Jack Patera, gambling when it counted. Coming back to ultimately win it 31-28 in a thriller. And for this man, it'll be a long night and a long week. Once again, the final score, Seattle 31, Atlanta 28. Be sure to join us next week for ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. The Houston Oilers against the Miami Dolphins from the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida. Travel arrangements made through and a promotional fee paid by United Airlines. More people fly United to Hawaii than any other airline. This has been a presentation of the leader, ABC Sports, bringing you exclusive coverage when the world comes to America this February for the 1980 Winter Olympics.